So most people see bees as pests and want to kill them as quickly as they can. Dennis Langlois of Orlando, Florida has a very different approach. He is a humane bee removal expert. He's been doing it for more than a decade. He's known as the Bee Guy. He joins us to explain why he takes this approach. Dennis, thanks so much for coming on. Well, I see you're protected. So why people see bees, they want to spray them with a can of poison and kill them. Why should they not do that?
Well, two reasons. Number one is, as a homeowner, the last thing you want to do is leave a bee's nest inside your structure. It'll cause more problems than you could ever imagine. And the other reason is because they're honeybees, and so rather than having them killed, there's a beekeeper that would happily remove and relocate those bees, and we do that all day, every day.
So how do you, I'm just assuming that bees don't want to be gentrified and move to a new neighborhood. So how do you convince them to leave?
Well, it's a physical process. So we essentially evict them. We physically remove their nest, putting it into a beehive. And during the process, we use a special vacuum designed to vacuum the bees up and not hurt them. And once they're brought back to the farm, then we relocate the bees from the vacuum with the nest and put everybody back together and put them to work.
How mad are they when they get out of the vacuum?
You'd be surprised at how gentle they are. So most of the time, we don't have to wear a suit or a veil or any protective clothing during the entire process.
Because they're just totally defeated? Like they got vacuumed at that point, they just give up? It seems like they should sting you.
No, that's not. No, it's just a matter of knowing the insects and keeping them calm.
How important, and obviously you have reason to promote bees. I'm very pro-bee myself, I'll just say it. But why are bees important?
Well, they produce 1/3 of the food we eat, at least. And of course, they also make honey, which is a sweet, delicious treat everybody enjoys.
So if any group, if we were to locate any group in the world that produces 1/3 of the food we eat, we'd obviously want to treat them like they were private equity barons or hedge fund managers. Like we'd treat them with a lot of respect, but we don't. Why?
I would think so. I think it's just some people have a fear of bees, and their knee-jerk reaction is when they see a nail, they go get a hammer.
Yeah, I think that's right. Or a can of bug spray. How much honey do you eat?
I eat honey every single day, all the time.
Do you really? You look.
I love it on ice cream. Yeah.
Honey on ice cream, but obviously you're wearing a full suit. We can't really see your outline, but you seem like a pretty slender, fit character. How do you eat honey every day and maintain your girlish figure?
I work hard every day. I wake up at 5 a.m. and I don't stop until about 6 a.m.
Yeah. Well, you're making the
6
world better. Unlike most people, maybe even talk show hosts. So, Dennis Langlois, our respect to you. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Now to two big national security stories developing here and overseas, including new details today on that mystery involving top secret military documents. And overseas, China is conducting new and menacing military drills around Taiwan. NBC's Courtney Kube is in Taipei, Taiwan, but we're going to begin with NBC's Ali Rafa at the White House. So, Ali, any indication about who might be to blame for the leaked documents?
Yeah, Lindsay, well, right now the DOJ and Pentagon are digging for any evidence of a possible traitor within the Defense Department and U.S. intelligence agencies who may have leaked these documents.
New concerns over how secure the country's defense secrets really are.
Obviously, leaks of, if that's what this is, or a hack that succeeds, is extremely dangerous.
After a suspected leak of classified U.S. documents about Ukraine's war effort and military strength were possibly leaked. Photos of the allegedly top secret documents posted recently on social media. The leak, first reported by the New York Times, includes maps and equipment lists that lay out details about Ukraine's military strength, casualty counts, and Western weapons capabilities. The Times reporting that the documents also reveal U.S. national security secrets about the Middle East and China.
There are some indications that there are some aspects of the document that have some authenticity to them, but there are also indications that this may be a Russian disinformation campaign, which they're very good at.
While Russian state media largely avoids coverage of the documents, one Ukrainian official is calling it a bluff by Russia. Meanwhile, intelligence analysts say they're confident these documents were also doctored.
The determination has been tentatively that this is a Russian-led effort.
It's attempting to target strategic intelligence sharing between the United States and Ukraine, and try to, create a bad faith relationship there.
Both the Justice and Defense Departments now trying to get answers.
It puts ourselves at risk. It puts our allies at risk.
And Lindsay, the potential fallout from this is still unclear, but officials are currently trying to assess what may have been exposed in these documents. Former intelligence officials say that if certain U.S. intelligence on Russia was revealed, one possible implication would be Moscow potentially cutting off a key U.S. eavesdropping channel used for intelligence gathering, Lindsay.
The more detail you get on John Fetterman, the sadder you feel for John Fetterman. He does seem in some ways like the victim here. That's what the evidence shows. So Fetterman, you'll remember, was elected to the U.S. Senate with the help of lying media organizations who told us he was fine and you didn't like disabled people if you had questions about his condition. But he wasn't fine at all. He was the opposite of fine. He shouldn't have been there. We know that because immediately after taking office, he was hospitalized for depression. In an interview with CBS News yesterday, Fetterman explained that while he was at Walter Reed Medical Center, doctors identified another issue with his health. Watch.
When I talk, what do you hear?
I hear you talking, and I can understand much of what you're saying. But my hearing has a deficiency that makes it difficult for me to fully understand 100% of it.
So he doesn't fully understand everything that he's hearing. Well, that seems like a problem for him personally, also for the country, since he's one of 100 senators. But CBS wasn't worried at all. Instead, they asked the natural question, are you going to run for president?
Can you have aspirations? Can you serve beyond the United States Senate?
You know, my aspiration is to take my son to the restaurant that we were supposed to go during his birthday, but couldn't because I had to check myself in for depression. And being the kind of dad, the kind of husband, and the kind of senator that Pennsylvania deserves. That's what my aspiration is.
So that seems honestly like a more normal aspiration, taking your boy to a restaurant. But CBS News wants him to run for president. You can't overstate how repulsive a lot of journalists are, most. Dr. Mark Siegel joins us tonight to assess what we saw in this interview. Doctor, what do you think of this?
Tucker, first of all, I can't believe that she asked him if he's running for president. Even before the depression, the chances of him surviving the term are less than 50% from the kind of stroke he had, and he has a bad heart. Then we find out that he's had chronic depression, which nobody told the voters of Pennsylvania about. He's been suffering it for years. On the positive side, I thought that he was good coming forward and saying I couldn't get out of bed, I didn't want to eat, I was losing weight, I had no happiness in my life, I couldn't celebrate my son's 14th birthday, and I had to be hospitalized because depression is a disease that's so often stigmatized, and over 10% of Americans suffer from severe depression. So in saying that, he makes it less stigmatized. On the other hand, what was he doing in the hospital for 6 weeks? The usual hospitalization is 6 to 10 days. How come, if he's being transparent, we're not finding out what the treatment was there? And you just pointed out there's issues with hearing. That's related to his stroke. There's the issue of that he has a 60% chance or more of recurrent depression, that he goes back in the hospital, all of which leads me to my main point. We feel bad for him. We like that he came forward. We feel compassion for him on a personal level. But what about the voters of Pennsylvania? What about the 14 million people in Pennsylvania? What about the people in the United States who have a Senate that's so divided that every vote matters? And is he up to voting? Is he fit to serve? I have serious concerns about that, and so should every American. Tucker.
That's exactly right. Dr. Mark Siegel, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Subscribe to the Fox News YouTube channel to catch our nightly opens, stories that are changing the world and changing your life. From Tucker Carlson tonight.
The investigation into the leak of dozens of classified documents, the Justice Department launching an urgent probe. The materials, some marked top secret, reveal details from the war in Ukraine and offer a snapshot of the battlefield situation in the beginning of March. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze tonight from Washington.
Tonight, the Justice Department is investigating a leak of dozens of classified U.S. military documents that reportedly contain top secret information from the war in Ukraine to China to Iran and North Korea. Photos of the classified documents, most of which we cannot show, were posted on social media this week, as well as dozens of other documents posted online as early as March, raising alarms about the scope and scale of the security breach.
When you take a picture of classified material, there is no excuse for that. So I think this does indicate that there was at least some level of intent to basically undermine U.S. national security interests.
ABC News has learned some of the documents seem to include markings identifying them from the Office of the Joint Chiefs. And one document dated March 2nd appears to have come from the CIA's daily intelligence summary provided to senior leaders. Some military and CIA documents posted seem to be photos of a printed PowerPoint slide. Some photos are creased down the middle, as if they were folded. One U.S. official tells ABC News the documents are no longer relevant to the battlefield, and they are of limited intelligence value and appear to have been altered from the original documents. The Biden administration now scrambling to find the source of the leak.
I do think it does give our partners and allies pause, not with working with us, but just what they actually share with us.
Now, along with the Justice Department, the CIA and Pentagon are also reviewing the posts on social media. One U.S. official tells us that the government is trying to have the documents removed from platforms online. Whit?
Something to watch closely. Thank you so much, Elizabeth Schultz.